Hold on. Okay, now it's on.
Salute, salute. Salute to God, the Most High, the creator of everything. Salute to all my day ones. Salute to the new subscribers. If you're just not coming in, stumbling across the platform, you know what to do. Wipe your feet all over my welcome mat and Big Bro Arnell's welcome mat by hitting that like button, subscribe button, notification bell, share the video, share the experience. Trolls, only God and your mama can love you. And last but certainly not least, we're going to put them up one time. Yeah. Say one time. That's right. One time for the Uncut Squad, one time for the Gifted Family, one time for Big Bro's Corner, Big Bro's Backup, one time for God, the real MVP, the creator of everything, the savior, y'all, and two salutes to the GOD. Big Bro, I'm happy to be with you today. I'm happy to be sharing these thoughts and opinions. And what you got for me, Big Bro?
Thank you for allowing me to be on your platform. I appreciate the time. And let me speak to your audience also. I've been troubled spiritually by just the past few weeks of things I've heard about back in my hometown and here in Florida also. About a year ago, a law was passed back in my home state that allowed pretty much anybody to buy a gun whenever they wanted to. And of course, that we knew would bring trouble back home because people are now trying to settle disagreements back home with gunfire. And of course, that leads to a lot of deaths because bodies and bullets don't go together. So I've noticed lately in here in Florida, around this area, there have been several incidents that involve people being shot. And sometimes it involves personal disagreements. And I'm just here to talk about trying to get away from using gunfire as a way of settling sometimes emotional disagreements because that is not the way to go. So I think we have to realize that we all as individuals have opinions that are just different. So we're not clones of each other. We want to agree on everything that we do because this is the way we are. We're all built differently. So we must understand that if you have a disagreement, respect the other person's opinion and try to move on, especially if it involves an emotional disagreement where you want to lash out at that person for whatever they've done or what they may think about and said about you. That leads to loss of life in a lot of cases. So I just want to advocate that if we disagree about things that are emotional, just walk away, please, and live for another day. That's the best policy. Respect the other person. You don't have to agree with what they said. Just say you disagree and walk away. Number one. Now, on nonviolent things, we have, whether it's religious opinions, whatever. Again, and respect their opinion and walk away. We all have different journeys and different, lifestyles, and we've gone through a lot of things. So, what affects that person, how they think, is their journey, and we've got to respect each other's journeys. So we can't, judge what they're saying as being wrong or right. For them, it is correct. So that's my approach, trying to just respect other viewpoints, understand, okay, wonder why they're saying that. That is my thought to myself. How did they get there? What happened to them? That is always, I guess, my question. And I've learned to just not try to push my opinions because it doesn't work because we don't walk in other folks' shoes. So I have a friend of mine I've known for, man, 35 plus years, and he was fired from his job because he didn't want to go by what they were telling him to do as far as how to approach his job. And of course, that caused conflict, but they ran the place and he didn't follow the rules, so they let him go. He thought that he was doing God's work, that he had to fight the fight. But in my viewpoint, I told him I would have walked away and gone someplace else because he had a family, a wife and two kids. So think about them first. You may have the spirit to want to fight God's fight, but what you're doing is going to impact your family. But he didn't feel that way. He felt that God wanted him to just stay in there, just fight the fight. And so he got fired, lost his house. His wife divorced him. His kids' lives would change quite a bit. So what was right for him was not right for me, but I cannot go back and now judge him and say, and you messed up because that was just his belief and what he really felt, whatever reason. But that wasn't what I would have done. But again, that's his life. He's got to decide things on his own, what's best for him. So the same thing as far as with political stuff, religious stuff, we've got to respect other opinion that's being given out to us and just say, well, that's what they believe because of who they are and what they've been through. We don't know what they've been through, every second of their lives. So I just want to stress that, there was a song by a rapper named Kool Moe Dee, Wild Wild West, and we've kind of turned into that society, I think, where we turn to guns to resolve sometimes stupid stuff that doesn't really matter, as far as opinions or what we do or what we say, but is it worth it? To me, that law that was passed back in my home state that gave us guns, they knew what they were doing. They knew that we would turn to guns in the black community and shoot each other. They knew that what would happen because we are sometimes emotional people. So I'm saying don't fall for the hype that a gun is an answer to a solution. Back off, walk away, live for another day. You know, and religious thoughts definitely, that's just a personal choice based on what you've been through in life. So I try to avoid those kind of discussions because it's a no winner. Pretty much because we're all different. My viewpoints are based on my life and what I've gone through, pretty much, and I believe in a God. I don't know what kind of God there is out there, but I've had things in my life that have happened that to me have been miraculous, I guess. So I kind of say, well, somebody's looking out for me because it's nothing that I did. But just wanted to express that opinion today, Mr. Uncut. Again, thank you for what you've done. You've got your journey. You've got to follow your lead and your path in your life, and I respect that. So just do what you do, but do it with power, do it boldly, and just find your spirituality, whatever that is for you, and just keep on marching on to find your truth. Don't worry about other folks' opinions, what they think about you, but because it comes down to just you every day in the mirror. That's you looking at, not anybody else. So just keep on doing what you're doing. I'm in your corner, sir. So I had to say thank you for the opportunity to express my viewpoints.
All right, and thank you, Big Bro, for expressing your viewpoints. Um, I want to touch on two things that you brought up here, two issues. One would be the issue of the guns. This government, these manufacturers, these companies, these people, these ops, these enemies, these adversaries, you know, even the people that want to get even with their perpetrators, they all have one thing in common with the utmost agenda of our government. They're not realizing that those guns were put here as the same reason as drugs, to kill and help someone do their job that they can no longer do. So all in all we're doing is helping them do their jobs. It's no different from women going out there getting abortions who look like you and I. You know, we're familiar with Planned Parenthood. We're familiar with Margaret Sanger. We're familiar with this. It's just we have to be woke and spiritual and conscious at all times, and we're not. It's very seldom you're going to get all three in one. As far as understanding people, my biggest fight was understanding women. But I've learned that we will never understand people either because we're all different. We're all genetically made up and constructed differently, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. I mean, however you look at it, even in our belief systems. So there's some people who are going to value some things more than others. You have some people who value life more than others. Those are the people who can usually walk away from a confrontation and live to fight another day and say, hey, well, I know God and his army got my back. Vengeance is mine, says the Lord. Then you got those people who can never let it go, who can never let it go because they're prideful. They've been done wrong, you know. And those are the people who usually pick up these guns and pick up these drugs and commit these I can't even think of the word I want to use. Commit these sinful acts, so to speak. I guess that'd be the best phrase, to use. those who commit these sinful acts. Ever since I did that video on the slavery in the Bible, big bro, I just don't feel like God is in that Bible. I don't feel like God is that immoral. I don't feel like God is that prejudiced. I don't feel like God is that racist. I have not been able to pick my Bible back up because I felt like I was reading letters from colonizers and slave masters rather than, from God. I've never heard God referred to as a master. And then I get to Matthew 6:24. It says that you can't serve two masters. You're gonna love one and hate the other. When has God ever been referred to as a master? When? There's only one group of people who's ever been referred to as master. And I'm not gonna say that here, but I think you know what I'm getting at. So I've been wrestling. My spirit has been broken, big bro. But yet I still thrive to move for the God that I believe in. Okay, the God that I know brought me through. So the next important thing I want to touch on is what you said. You may not know who God is, but there's been miraculous things that happen in your life as well as mine, to where we can only credit God. But the devil is busy. He wants us to believe that it's the evolution, it's the Big Bang theory. It's energy that was passed on. No, this is supernatural. Anything miraculous that happens in our lives that we cannot control, that we did not orchestrate, that we did not plan, that's nobody but God. So at this point, I refuse to let a book tell me who God is. I refuse to let a movie tell me who God is. I refuse to let an atheist, a Judas, a Catholic, a Christian, a Baptist, a Presbyterian, a Methodist, a Lutheran, a Satanist. Can't nobody tell me who my God is. My God is within me. My God is within me. And that's what I want my spirit to reflect at all times. Now, I kind of walk in between both sides of this whole conversation. The God in me is telling me, hey, let it go. I got you, son. Look, I've carried you thus far. I've made your enemies thy footstool. But there's that one part of me who wants to handle some things too. And I have to think every day, is it worth it? The word says that God will never bring you this far to leave you, for he will never leave you nor forsake you. But if I go out and I commit these sinful acts, if you go out, you commit these sinful acts because of laws being passed and people can't deal with their pride, you know, then it's us leaving God. It's not him leaving us. It's us forsaking him. And I mean, at that time, if I was God, I would take my hand off of that subject too, because how have you not learned by now? How have you not seen the difference? This is the life you used to live and you suffered. This is the life you live now, and I've pretty much given you an easy button. You can't name a hard time that I didn't get you past. I'll take where I'm at now. I'll take where I am now. Broken in everything, I will take where I am now. Big bro, I am broken, spiritually broken, emotionally broken. I mean, broken, but yet I still thrive to please the God that I believe in, the God that I believe carried me through. So I don't put that in human beings. And I've just learned from the views on my YouTube page, I'm not even worried about what human beings think because they can't save me. They can only condemn me. They can only condemn me. They can only make me worse than what I am. Or depending on who I surround myself around, like you can make me better than what I was. So those are decisions that I make in my daily walk of life now. It's all about the people, the energy you surround yourself with, those that you can't get along with, those who have these hidden agendas and this evil laying within. You know it the minute you greet them. You can feel it. So at that time, it's best to just be covered by the blood of God and just walk away. Walk away. You got the floor, big bro.
Thank you, sir. You may not recall, but my spirit was also kind of damaged couple of months ago when I was reading an Old Testament Exodus, and I even told my wife, I said, this God in the Old Testament sounds pretty to me pretty violent, doing some violent things, and I was turned off by that. So I had to get away from that thought, and even talked to our friend Lamont about that, how I felt about what I read. So I have to get away from those human thoughts and get back to my spiritual self to try to find something positive, that helps me improve my character as a human being on this planet. So that's what I try to do. And like yourself, when I read things about slavery in the Bible as being something that's kind of positive, I just kind of like, wow, this is strange, but I don't know how to address that, from a spiritual standpoint, what that really means. But my thought is that maybe people put that in there to try to support, slavery as being okay. But I don't know how the Bibles were modified over the years, but those are my thoughts to try to keep myself from totally, turning away from the Bible, because there are some positive things in there about human character I try to follow for myself. But like yourself, some things just turn me off, man. I just say, wow, I don't understand this. This is kind of to me negative from a human standpoint. So that's where I'm at, just trying to find the positive things. But I noticed that negative things also pop up once in a while, such as, slavery and things like that, where I said, wow, this can't be right. What does this mean? So, but again, I'm just trying to keep myself focused and make it a personal journey for myself and not just follow, biblical stuff, that people tell me. So I got to decide, forget for myself, what does that mean for me, and I can't decide what that means for Mr. Uncut. It's not my job. That's your job to decide whatever you read means for you. So I'm trying to stay away from telling folks, here's what it means. No, I can't do that. I can't tell you what it means. I got to decide what it means in my life, and try to stay away from, saying, here's what you should do. I may provide an example of what I've done and explain why, but at my advanced age of 67, in about 2 more weeks, I'm trying to just get myself together. So when I go out, I go out the best person that I could have been, from what I know about life. So, but, I see what you're doing with your life, and, it's a struggle, I know, because we all have different lives, and to get ourselves together, but try to let this world take you down, because it can do it easily. Even with reading the Bible, it can take you down. It shouldn't be that way. It should not be that way. It should be a positive thing. And that's what bothers me, that when you read a Bible, it takes you down. That something's wrong with that picture, So, so I'm trying to stay positive and avoid stuff that's going to get me off track. But again, I want to thank you for the time to just express myself. And I had a 2-hour discussion with my friend last night about things, and we left laughing about stuff, about memories we had in the past. So it started off kind of tense, but it got better as we just expressed ourselves, from our viewpoint, but didn't say we were right about things. We just expressed what we thought and why. So, but do what you think is best. And if you need any kind of, I wouldn't say advice, but want to share an opinion about stuff about what I've been through, feel free to call me, man, because that's what I'm here for, to share stuff, but not say that I'm right. I'm just saying this is what I've been through and what I experienced, So, but thank you again, sir, for this communication, this dialogue. And back at you now, sir. To close us out.
Okay, before I close and conclude this, I want to share something with you and everyone else, and I want to send a special shout out and a special thank you to Millions of Stars. My girl, my spiritual sister, J Stars. I mean, listen, this sister is intelligent. This sister was, when I made those videos about slavery in the Bible, I made 3 videos, and she was the first one I thought I would hear from. And she would not touch those videos. But I'm gonna tell you what that sister did. That sister texted me on my personal line. She stayed away from the videos, but she texted me on my personal line, and she shared with me wisdom, big bro, wisdom, as in why these things are in there. And she does a lot of everything based out of the Bible, but we're not all sleep. We're woke to some things. Big bro, can you see that? Can you see what that says? the Negro Slave Bible. They're still selling it. They're still selling it.
Wow. What about that
They
too, man? Yeah.
the Negro Slave Bible. They are
Wow.
still selling it. So that's why you see those passages in the Bible. It
Yeah.
was to keep us in line. This is no different from what William Lynch did in 1712. The West Indies, the Philippines, everywhere he traveled, teaching slave masters how to keep their slaves in order, in line. The Negro Slave Bible. See, when I read that in the Bible, I was like, this can't be God. This
Yeah.
can't you making God look so violent, so condescending, so malicious, so judgmental. You're making God look like one of his creations are superior and one is inferior. And he
Yeah.
didn't even do that to his own son. He didn't even feel that way about his own son. So how does he feel that way about the works of his own hands, his creations, what he blew life and breath into, you know? And that's just to help me. And I've read this, and I don't see me really touching the Bible again because
Mm.
I don't think that God is in the Bible. Yes, there's guidance, there's parables, there's good stories. But man, I pay attention to punctuation. I pay attention to grammar. In the Bible, certain things are capitalized when it's referencing God. And if it's not referencing God, certain things won't be capitalized. Everything I read in those passages were not capitalized. Even if it said our, us, or whatever, it was not capitalized. The Negro Slave Bible is still being sold on Amazon today.
Wow. Amazing, man.
The Negro Slave Bible. And I can't help but go back to Nat Turner.
Yeah.
I can't help but think about Nat Turner, the Negro Slave Bible. So for me to read that in the Bible, no, big bro. No, big bro. No, no. That seems like a letter from colonizers, my man. And I'm
Yeah.
not trying to offend no one. But if anyone's going to come in here and say they know the Bible from back to front, then why the hell aren't you discussing that? Because that is a major discrepancy. And those
Yeah.
words were not nice. They were not nice. They were not nice. So, yes, humans had to throw that in there. Humans had to do that. That's the work of colonizers. That's the work of people who don't like other people, who hold other prejudices. There is no way God is going to give you permission to kill and then say, thou shalt not kill. There's no way that God is going to say, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, then give you permission to rape slave, you know what I'm saying, women and children in slavery. There's just no way. Love thy neighbors, you love thyself, but it's okay to go to other nations that collect slaves. And if they have babies in your country, when you get them back, then this is your property. Are you kidding me? That's not God, man. That's the very entity we're fighting right now. That's the damn devil. That is Satan himself. That's hatred, my man. And people are using God's name in vain. They're misrepresenting who God really is and what he stands for. Because I know that's not the God I serve. So with that being said, big bro, I appreciate you. I'm one of those people who's always going to agree to disagree. There's knowledge everywhere. We're not going to have all the answers, you know, but sometimes a closed mouth and listening ears can take us further than, just want to always think that we know everything. And to all of those pastors, bishops, priests, prophets, whatever out there, right down to Geno Jennings, it is fraud. It is a damn shame that you have our people referencing this type of stuff as a guideline for life and won't tell our people the truth. Those are the excerpts and the passages that you dance around annually
Yeah.
to make your money and to make yourself look good. But one thing you're not preaching is the truth. Why the hell is that in the Bible? Who the hell wrote that? That is not of God. That is not of God. That is not of the God I serve. And I've seen miracles. I've had miracles of my own. I know that isn't God, big bro. So with that being said, anything else you want to add, big bro?
I'm good, sir. But thanks again for the dialogue.
Yes, sir, and thank you. Um, Listen, I can't even apologize that this didn't go the way it normally goes. I want everyone to always be motivated. I want everyone to always be inspired. I want everyone to always be positive and practice good energy, surround yourselves with good energy. But we can't always be ignorant and uninformed, misinformed. We have to dig for these answers. Strength is in numbers. So the more people who decide to get educated, to break those chains of them believing that we have a low IQ, some believing that we have a low IQ, man, we have to let people know that we know and we are aware, because that is the only way we will grow as a people, as a culture. You see what I'm saying? So with that being said, man, y'all study diligently, man. Don't believe everything you read. Question things. Question things. There is nothing wrong with doubting. There is nothing wrong with doubting, because no one has all the right answers. So study to show that self-approval. That's in the Bible as well. All right, everybody, get your one-on-one. Get your one-on-one. Get your one-on-one with your true higher power, the real higher power, the God, the spirit, the supernatural talent, existence, the divineness that you know brought you through when you needed it the most. When you needed it the most. God is not in these doctrines. God is in you and I. He's inside of you and I. Exercise that and show the world that they can't lie to us. They can't hide God. They can't hide God's light. They can't hide God's favor. They can't hide God's commitment to his people. They can't hide God's covenant. Let's put the truth out there. Let's put it out there. All right, y'all stay prayed up, stay blessed up, stay meditated up, stay protected, stay real, stay woke, stay uncut, be inspired, be great, be you. And let me add one more. When it comes to things like these books, be vigilant, man. Be vigilant. Straight up, be vigilant. I'll show you, ladies and gentlemen.